Good morning. Now we are going to discuss about the transmission media. The transmission media is divided by two categories. One is guided media and another one is unguided media. Guided media is nothing but is a physical medium through which the signals are transmitted. So the guided media is also known as bounded media. In this guided media, they can classify into three categories. The first one is twisted pair. Now we are see about the twisted pair cable. Twisted pair is a physical media. It can be made up of a pair of cables twisted with each other. So a twisted pair cable is very cheap as compared to other transmission media. So the first one of the advantages is it is a very cheap in rate. So second one is installation of the twisted pair cable is very easy and it is a lightweight cable. The frequency range of twisted pair cable is from 0 to 3.5 kilohertz. 30 from the range of 0 to 3.5 kilohertz. And also it consists of two insulated copper wires arranged in a regular spiral pattern. So next one is the degree of the reduction in noise interference is determined by the number of turns per feet. Increasing the number of turns per foot increases noise interference. So the next one is twisted pair also divided into two types. The first one is unshielded twisted pair. The second one is a shielded twisted pair. The unshielded twisted pair is it can be used in widely telecommunications. The example one is telecommunication. Following are the categories of the unshielded twisted pair. They can be classified into five categories. The first category frequency is very low. It can be started from the 1 Mbps. Mbps were nothing but megabits per second. The second category is it can be then it range from 0 to 4 Mbps. The third one is also support 0 from the range starting from 0 to 16 Mbps. The fourth category is it can be support from up to 20 Mbps from 0 to 20 Mbps. So it can be used in the long distance also. So category 5 it can be support 200 Mbps. 200 means 0 to 200 Mbps. The advantages of unshielded twisted pair is it can be very cheap and installation also very cheap. It can be used for high speed LAN network. The disadvantage is the cable can be only used for the shorter distance because the attenuation. Attenuation is nothing but it can be disturbance of the some signals. The second category is a shielded twisted pair. Shielded twisted pair is a cable that contains the mesh surrounding the wire that allows the higher transmission rate. The shielded twisted pair characteristics, the first one is the cost of the shielded twisted pair cable is very low and not very high. So it in between the rate. It's not very low and it's not very high. And installation R is very easy and higher capacity data can be transmitted from one place to another place. And it can be provide the higher data transmission rate. These are the advantages of shielded twister pair. And disadvantages are it can be more expensive as compared to the unshielded twisted pair and coaxial cable. These are the disadvantages. Next one is we are see about the coaxial cable. So coaxial cable is very commonly used in transmission media. For example, TV wire is usually a coaxial cable. The name of the cable is it contains two conductors parallel to each other. So in the frequency also compared to high compared to the twisted pair cable. The inner conductor of the coaxial cable is made up of a copper and the outer conductor is made up of the copper mesh. The middle core is made up of non-conductor cover that separates the inner conductor from the outer conductor. The middle copper is responsible for the data transferring whereas the copper mesh prevents from the EMI. The diagram shows the coaxial cable it classified into two types. And the first one is baseband transmission. The second one is broadband transmission. The baseband transmission is defined as the process of transmitting a single signal at high speed. So in the baseband transmission, it can be defined as the process of transmitting a single signal at high speed. Broadband transmission, it is defined as the process of transmitting multiple signals. So at the same time, it can be transmit the data from the multiple signals. So the advantages of coaxial cable is the data can be transmitted at high speed. It can be better than shielded and twisted pair cable. So these are the advantages of coaxial cable. The disadvantages of coaxial cable is it is more expensive compared to the twisted pair cable. If any fault occur in the cable, causes the failure in the entire network. So these are the disadvantages of coaxial cable. The next one is fiber optic. Fiber optic cable is a cable that uses electrical signals for communication. So here we are using the electrical signals for the communications. Fiber optic is a cable that holds the optical fibers coated in a plastic that are used to send the data by pulses of light. The plastic coating protects the optical fibers from heat, cold, and electromagnetic interference from other types of wiring. It also provides the faster data transmission than copper wire. The basic elements of fiber optic cable, the first one is core and cladding and jacket. These are the basic elements of fiber optic cable. The advantages of fiber optic cable is greater bandwidth. So it can be send the data with a greater bandwidth. Greater bandwidth means it can be send the data with a high speed bandwidth. Then the next one is faster speed, and the next one is longer distance, and the last category is better reliability. These are the